almost everyone who has played the first Breath of the Wild game is looking forward to Breath of the Wild 2, but nobody really has any idea what the game is going to be about. They're not really giving us any information, so I'm going to go over the trailers and some extra footage we got in the delay notes and see what we can possibly get out of that, if anything. So here's the things that we got out of it and a theory as to what the game could be about. So we pretty much have the spiel here. So here is Link going around the sky, showing some of the mechanics that you would have in the sky. Here we have ground segment looking at the sky. Here is some new features that we can see. Get a zoom out, and this is important, and you'll see why in a few seconds here. So you're probably thinking, what could we possibly get out of this? I mean, saying that we have not a lot of footage to go off of here, and we don't even know if this is actual gameplay or just a sort of demo of something that they just sort of threw together to put in a trailer. So what we can get out of this is a few things. First off, the sky mechanic is the same as in the trailer, so we'll explain that a bit later in this video. But the most interesting thing is the Master Sword's damage, and also the fact that Link has a glove on a hand that looks like it's been charred to a crisp, and it has a symbol on the hand that we will see shortly. So why don't we go a little bit more in depth to see what that actually is. So the first thing I would like to talk about here is the symbol on Link's hand. Now, you might not be able to see it from this, but I'll zoom in here in a second. And it's pretty clear there's a symbol on Link's hand. And, well, I sort of figured out what this symbol is. And it is this. It is these two characters just sort of squished right next to each other. If this means anything, I don't know. I mean, it could be anything. It could mean nothing. It could just be graphic design. It could even just be light being light, but I mean, it's just a little bit too much detail for it to just be a light source, so. And we'll move on to the next thing. The next thing I'd like to talk about is the raw condition of the sword in this clip. I mean, it just is extremely battle-worn, and from the looks of it, it has a lot of damage that looks to be something along the lines of erosion. It's just something very odd about it. I mean, it just doesn't look like normal wear. It looks like it has something to do with that hand. Speaking of which, it looks like some sort of thing to do with the malice, which we'll see in the trailer that's coming up actually right now. So it starts out with this cool shot of what appears to be malice just going up. And then, of course, Zelda falls into a pit, which is very odd. Intermission. And then we get a few seconds of black, and then that light. And some of this footage is exactly the same as we did last time, so I won't repeat over myself by talking about this again. But, well, we get some new looks into different bosses and enemies that you can encounter around the field. That is what I think is the hand that we saw last time, and I will explain that in a second. Again, same footage as last time. And, of course, the castle being lifted, which is kind of a huge disappointment for me because I was really looking forward to exploring the castle when it was more built up, but nope. And we get this cool looking cinematic shot here. So, very interesting trailer indeed. So, this is exactly what I was talking about before. This is what appeared to be the charred hand. This appears to be Sheikah power going into Link's arm. Whatever it does, whether it's a good or bad thing, probably has a lot to do with the plot of this game. I mean, it just is such a interesting visual to turn into, like, charcoal. So it has to have something to do with this. What is this game going to be about? Lucky Charms. Just kidding. I mean...
What kind of place is this?
The trailer gives us so little information that it's hard to go off of and create any sort of reasonable plot, but I think the general theme of the game is obviously going to be something to do with the hand. It's going to be something to do with the sword being all smashed up, possibly because the sword is probably just being repaired after a one-time thing, honestly. But it is possible this could be a very integral piece of the plot. Of course, we have the castle being in the sky, which I also assume is what lifts up the sky islands around it. Obviously, new power with, like, Rivali Gale Plus or something. I don't know. But and also, that symbol probably has something to do with the general plot of the game, whether this is a Sheikah thing or a Zonai thing. I don't know. It is possible it's integral to the plot, but probably not. The stuff we got in the update, it's very unintegral, and I think we don't have enough information to go off of and create an actual basis of ground here. It's possible because in the update we got something about other dimensions. This can mean anything underground, like caves or mines. It can also mean something around. It can mean the Twilight Realm. It can mean the return of the Dark World. It can mean a lot of different things, so I think the most plausible one is caves, and the least plausible one is time travel, because they've done that a lot, and I doubt they're gonna go to do that again. So that's my general theory about this, but still there's not enough to go off of. We need more information, Nintendo. Don't you hear us? Information is what we need. Information is what we need. Information is what we need. Please, Nintendo!